everybody is on the attack on like vaccines or vaccine awareness. You had this kid go into Congress and just totally burn his mom. He just burned her. Did you catch that story? This kid from Norwalk, Ohio.
I'm
He
not sure.
he turned
I think.
18. First thing he did was went to the clinic and got all of his
Oh yes,
vaccines. And
yeah,
then
I
a
did see that.
week later, he's in Congress testifying about this misinformation and
Jeez.
vaccine and this measles, blah, 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 saying that his mom has been misinformed his whole life because of Facebook. And now all of a sudden, Zuckerberg's going to start shutting down
That's
anti-vaccine
right. Like
pages.
that wasn't all set up somehow. Like this,
Right. It's been
well,
in the works, but now that this kid is I feel this kid has got to be involved, as
well, it's just
psychologically
crazy.
somehow. But
It's well,
he
just
refuses
one
to
thing on
listen
that.
to the fact that maybe vaccines just might not be all great. And there might
Yeah,
be a possibility of something, and maybe because you're willing to to weigh the benefit over, you know, what could possibly go wrong. There's people out there that deserve to say, well, look, that 5% possibility that I could have a bum leg because that vaccine went in my leg and now my leg don't work, or, you fucked up my brain somehow. You gave me all, who knows? You know what I'm saying? We obviously have the vaccine payment system with the government for a reason because they know it'll
yeah,
fuck certain people up. But
yeah. Things happen. Yeah.
that 5% is enough for me to say, you know what? I'll let my kids decide when they're 18 if they want to do it or not. But I'm not going to be the
Yeah.
one to choose now over some measly measles, or the flu that might last a week. You know what I'm saying? I got
Yeah.
enough clean water here to get my kids through the fucking flu or strep if they get it. It's
It's
like, I'll
it
let
just
them
comes down to
decide.
the lack of research. I mean, this is not you. I mean, whether you like vaccines or not, or whether you think they're completely solid or dangerous or not, all that aside, it's a simple fact that they do not do this. Is vaccines are in a whole nother field in regard to pharmaceuticals,
Mm-hmm.
right? They don't go through the same stringent tests, the double blind placebo, all the different tests. They simply don't do them. That's a
Mm-hmm.
fact. I mean, it's easy to find out. They just don't talk about it. And
Right.
then when things go wrong, they're not even held financially accountable, like you just mentioned. You go to the vaccine court, and then taxpayers pay for it.
Right.
So on either side of it, they're not incentivized to care at all about the side effects. Some
Mm-hmm.
people make the argument they're just doing their tests on us, and maybe
Right.
still trying to evolve and get better, but they're just simply saying throw out another vaccine real quick and quick and dirty, and then when bad things happen, we'll adjust it. Right? I
Right.
mean, they make all the money in the process, and the taxpayers foot the bill.
Right.
It's just crazy.
But
But the kid thing blows my mind that
and
it's a
that
kid we're talking about,
he's
right? And that
he just turned 18 this month.
yeah, I saw that story.
Yep.
I didn't dive into it, but I saw it. But I was like, I after you explained it, I can't believe that like they're putting all if the opinion was the other way around, they wouldn't care what this 14-year-old kid had to say, right? They're
Right.
using him, this it shows you the level we're at in the world today, where this kid is choosing to say, my mom who raised me loves me, cares about me,
Mm-hmm.
right, is just wrong, and all the propaganda I'm getting is right, and he may be right. Right? I obviously don't think so, but the
Right.
point is that he's choosing to take the propaganda machine over his mother. That's fucking wild when you really think about it. I don't know whether she's a bad person or not, but you'd think that the kid at some level would be like, my mom loves me, she cares about me, right? Like there must be something that she knows that I don't, and it's just crazy to me, and that the world, and at least the establishment world, is completely okay with that,
Yeah.
supporting it, right, rising it up. Look at this kid who stood against his family, and it's disgusting. Like the drive behind all of it has nothing to do with morals or safety, or you know what I mean. And it's just, I hate this stuff. It makes me angry to see that these people are doing all this bad stuff under this guise of actually trying to, oh, we care about you, we're doing it for your safety,
Mm-hmm.
secretly laughing in the back corner. It's like
Right. Yeah. They're all doing one of these. Like,
yeah, right.
they're doing that. They're doing that thing that Baby, the rapper, does in the window. He's just like rubbing his hands together. He's like, "Yeah, motherfuckers." Yeah, it's crazy to me. But I think
Yeah.
most of it is all because people refuse to have an open dialogue anymore. They refuse to accept a conversation, and the conversation is simple. It's like it's just as simple as you and I sitting down and saying, that I accept your right to skip on that 5%. You know what I'm saying? If you feel that 5% is too much, 5% is too much. Because nothing is absolute. But they're selling it to the people. They're selling it on the news. I mean, I can't go, 3 or 4 finger swipes on Facebook without seeing a mainstream or a mainstream affiliate sharing something about the fucking measly measles right now. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to make the measles out like it's Ebola, or it's something crazy. You know what I'm saying? That it's gonna kill everybody, and it's like it's the measles. Like, do people die from the measles? Is that part, like, not the measles vaccine, measles in general? Do people die from that? Like, I don't know. Because
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you could
just
die
not
from anything,
prominently enough.
but
I know people die from swine
yeah.
flu and bird flu and Ebola, but do they die from measles? Because it's all you ever hear about is like, oh my god, everybody's got the measles, but you don't hear about like, oh my god, everybody's dying from the measles.
It's the same, like you said, with the flu, right? That's why they try to make the case all the time that the flu has deaths. But it's like, it's even if, and those are arguably false. They use the pneumonia cases, they
Right.
lump them together, right?
I
But
do
the
know
point,
somebody that did die from the bird flu. Well, it's
you
actually a
can.
coworker's wife, which it's the only case I've ever known of certainty of a bird flu death.
Yeah, no, but you could die from anything though. That's the point. But at the end of the day, is it worth the risk? You know what I mean? There are things that
Mm-hmm.
we don't care about in this country that kill way more people because there's a whole agenda around it.
Yeah,
Or we have this
fentanyl.
really, yeah,
Yeah,
or just look at all the opioid deaths and everything.
right.
They just don't care.
Yeah,
And we
drunk
know now we
driving.
have all the evidence that the Sackler family and
Yeah,
OxyContin, all this stuff, they knew and they planned it and they hid it. They lied to Congress, and now they're making money on the other side of it. And it's all these people aren't going to jail. They got a $600
right.
million fine. Oh my God, they made billions of dollars, and here's their, give me what's in your wallet, we'll call it even. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like, oh my God, they just don't care. It's all about the driving agenda behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The vaccine thing for me is, it's an important topic because, like all of these, they get driven into these two extremely polarized cases, and as always, it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I actually feel, to a large degree, that anything can be positive. I've
Oh, yeah,
seen,
no doubt.
I can make a really good case for why we shouldn't trust any of these. That even like the creator of the polio vaccine himself had later to openly talked about the fact that it wasn't as effective as they said, and it was naturally declining. You know what I mean? And it actually
Right.
was causing more cases, but overall it was coming down by natural immunity anyway, and on and on and on. But I would make the case that you could make a vaccine that could be good, hypothetically, but the intent behind it is bad today. They either don't care enough or they're actually trying to hurt you. Either way, we can see that I would think it's logical to say that we shouldn't trust what they're doing, and at the very least have our freedom to say no to it. But
I
what do
mean,
you think?
if you go after, if you follow what Bill Gates says, and we know that he's heavily involved in, world distribution of vaccines. He loves to go to places, poor areas of Central and South America. He loves to go to places like Africa, and the same thing follows behind every single one of those places, and it's always mass sterilization. And then you watch him on TED Talks, and he tells people blatantly to their face that in order to get the carbon numbers down, you have to succeed at getting something pretty near zero, and the very first thing on the list is the human population needs to get to zero, and then everything else will trickle down, obviously. You know,
I mean, and you're right. He's been open about that. He said that countless times that we need basically depopulation, and then what do we think he's doing? He believes it, obviously, right? I mean,
Right.
it's just dangerous. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you feel like, because this is the hard thing, is people are all or nothing today. It's either like all vaccines are bad. Like that's what they try to make it, anti-vax versus vax. It's not like that. We're just
No,
trying to point
I
out-
believe in a very simple thing, and that's informed consent. You go to see
Yeah,
your doctor. Your
always.
doctor explains to you the pros and the cons, the risks, the risk factors, and he also tells you everything that it could possibly be good about it. Who knows? But it's always about informed consent. It's about somebody going in, sitting down it takes 5 to 10 minutes to learn some shit. I mean, it's a whole lot better than not learning nothing at all.
And the big point being that you could then say no if you want to,
and then say
right?
no if you want to. That's it. It's plain and simple. I mean, I would never go to you, Ryan, and say, listen, don't vaccinate your kids. If you do, you're a fucking idiot, and I hate you, and you're gonna kill everybody, and your kids are gonna have autism. Like it's so stupid. It is so stupid. I believe I believe in informed consent. I believe people can do whatever they want to their bodies as long as because you're being sold to this by medical professionals, people that are supposed to be there to help you when you need help. And there's a very good, when you go and get a hip replacement, there's a very good chance that your body will reject the hip or a kidney or a liver, and they make sure to tell you that before it gets done. They say, listen, your body might reject the hip the liver, the kidney. So these are the risks. Do you want to walk around on a busted up, jacked up hip? You could die because of kidney failure. Or do you want to go ahead and have the transplant or have the prosthetic installed? Your body might reject it. Everything is down to a simple tooth implant. They tell you that your body may reject it, and it could be worse than just not having teeth. But then you talk about a vaccine, and they do not tell you that.
Not the same thing, right? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it's the same logical point. I mean, it's just crazy though that they can force it as all or nothing. I mean, there's multiple cases on record, easy to look up, where we had an issue with the vaccine or some other similarly, some like what's the other one I was thinking of? The the blood coagulant from Bayer that gave everybody HIV. That's a real story too. But the multiple times where they had a vaccine that had a problem, it was making people sick or whatever was happening, and they pull it back, and then that same company then takes it and then gives it back out to another third world country.
Right.
It's happened on record. People they've had to pay their fines, as I'm sure these companies do, but they fucking kill people, right? They knew that it was dangerous and and did it anyway. And the point is, to them, it's just one step in the same direction. They're doing it already. They're giving you something they know is not tested properly. So they're thinking, well, fuck it, let's just give it to them. It's the same thing, right? Even though they know that we already know that it's bad. It's like, it's happened countless times. The blood coagulant one is anticoagulant, actually.
It's an anticoagulant.
That's the one you should look up. The Bayer was found guilty for it was an anticoagulant drug that was giving people HIV, right? I mean, it's like, that's crazy. And now they're merged with Monsanto, and it's like, how does that not completely destroy a company? You know what I mean? Like, that's like your one job, right? Is to make
because
safe
the media
products.
because the media, they published one time about it, and then it was gone. They went directly back into talking about what's going on in Hollywood. They go right back to talking about everything that doesn't matter. They bury that stuff so fast, it is gone. If you want if you want to know, it's easy to find. You can look it up. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In today's day and age, if they're not beating it down people's throats on the nightly news and then the morning shows, you need to have the real with all those girls that sit around the table drinking coffee, bashing people. They need to talk about it too. You know what I'm saying? Ellen has to talk about it. That's what we're up against on everything. You know what I'm saying? When you have people like, all the daytime talk shows, all the PM talk shows, and then all the major social media accounts, everybody's, talking pro this, pro that, pro vaccine, pro, but and then you have one person, that kind of pops out of the back like Jenny McCarthy, like, maybe we should think a little bit, and they're like, fuck you, you pose naked.
Yeah, right, exactly. Ad hominem, you're bad.
right. You pose naked.
To do with the argument.
But in other news, there's a woman over here who's been naked at an art gallery, scrubbing menstrual blood all over her face. What a hero!
That's
real.
funny.
This is real. I mean, nothing I just said was a lie.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.